The soul that you have now is the very same soul that you had on your first incarnation into a human form. And that soul has been absorbing all of your experience. It's been taking everything that you've done, a bit like a hard drive, and just storing absolutely everything from the very first physical incarnation all the way through until you merge back with the destination of this human experience. Hey folks, welcome to the channel. My name's Ben and I talk about things related to meditation and spirituality. It's something I've been involved in for like over 20 years. And when I was about 6 years old, I started. My dad was a meditation teacher. And so today, the topic is going to be about the soul and the journey of the soul and what the soul actually is, and the starting point and the destination of the soul. The soul in of itself is almost like a hard drive. It is there really and purely to collect information, to collect all of your experiences. Now, some people wonder why some people are particularly good at certain hobbies or certain activities or certain academic studies. Why are some people naturally gifted? Now, of course, you've got the obvious things, the physical things of, like, you know, the inherited genes, the experience of being, you know, growing up in a family where the parents are very academic, or perhaps if they're very good in a sport, maybe they grew up with a very sporting father and was introduced to things that way, and it's kind of you know, led on from their genetics in a way and their prior family history. And for some that rings true, and that could be that the person before has had experiences like that in previous lives. That's been stored in the soul, and then they've reincarnated into a suitable family again, you could say, to kind of progress further in their particular interest or particular area of work, whether it's like I said, a sport or some sort of academic study or a musical instrument or something like that. And they will then, with that family, progress to fulfill their desire. It might have been that in the previous life they had a desire to be, you know, a professional musician, for example, and they had got to a certain stage, but for whatever reason they hadn't fulfilled that desire. So when they reincarnate the next time round, because they've got that desire within them still, they'll reincarnate into a suitable family that's going to help them to fulfill that desire. They will also kind of have a natural instinct that comes through from their soul into that particular instrument or whatever it might be. You know, they have this natural gift. On the outside, everyone's saying, wow, they're gifted, you know, they've got this special talent. And quite often it's that it's not the first time that they've done that thing. You know, this is kind of filtering through from past experiences, and they're picking up not where they left off, but there's almost a muscle memory there to some degree that is filtering through from the soul. So the soul will collect all of the information from all of the various lifetimes that it's experienced, and from then, once it's happy with the amount of experience that it's got, maybe it's had 100 lifetimes, 200 lifetimes, whatever, and it's had variations of lifestyles and cultures and experiences, good, bad, ugly, everything in between, it will then be on its journey back to its source. And it started from the source, it's gone through this human experience, and then it will be returning to the source. And this is the journey, this is a spiritual journey, this is what we call a spiritual journey. Essentially, it's a human journey, really. We're spiritual beings who are currently on a human journey, but we are working our way back to our spiritual nature, our spiritual core, our spiritual home, if you like. And so this is a process that we are going through. But it might be that for some people they're earlier on in that process and they're happy just going through life, getting lots of experience, doing different things. There's no real urge or inner kind of calling for more. They're happy with, I don't want to say a mundane life because that makes it sound negative, but they're happy with an ordinary life. And that's totally normal, that's totally fine, there's nothing wrong with that. But then there are other people perhaps like you, if you're watching this, who have an inner urge, an inner calling that things you know, aren't quite as they seem, or that there's more to life than perhaps they are currently experiencing. And this might be that it's time for you to start working back to your spiritual home, starting to work back to the source. It might be you've been here many times, you've collected lots of experience, and there's part of you that is kind of ready now to return back to the source. And that's where we start, you know, often people will take an interest in things like religion or meditation or prayer, or they will have some kind of experience perhaps, And all of these things are really just kind of steering you in the direction that you want to be going, which is back home. And this is where meditation and prayer and all of those different spiritual disciplines come into play, because what they then do is they start to allow you to let go of the attachments to this physical life. So you let go of the sense of physicality to some degree when you meditate. You let go of your worldly attachments, you let go of hobbies and all of these different things, and you just go inward for a little while. And when you come out, you have them all again, and all the attachments are still there, but over time they kind of loosen off. They don't have as much of a grip on you, and it really elevates you in this, accelerates you, should I say, on this journey back home. And also what is happening on a vibrational level is that we are experiencing life at a fairly low level of vibration in this physical plane. But to work our way back home, we have to increase our level of consciousness, and until we reach what they would call in Hinduism and things like that is as self-realization or God realization. And this is where we expand our consciousness all the way up to God consciousness, to the ultimate, if you like, nirvana or enlightenment. And this is a process that we go through when we are doing spiritual discipline, spiritual practice. This is what we're kind of working towards. And little by little, we increase our level of consciousness bit by bit over years and years and years until we hopefully reach that stage. And that might take many lifetimes of work. That might be something that you dedicate your life to and you get there a bit quicker. Some people will take kind of windy, difficult routes to get there, just because they're exploring things that might not necessarily be the most direct way to go. And it might be that you then are reincarnated into a family or a circumstance, or you come across people in your next incarnation who are going to benefit you in this journey home. So it might be that for you watching this video, it's time for you to have some more inspiration, and that you are kind of ready for this kind of conversation, this kind of knowledge, and this is going to assist you in your journey. Hopefully it does. But yeah, long story short, we're spiritual beings having a human experience, and we're working our way back to our source from which we came originally to experience this physical realm. And the reason that we had this physical experience is because as spirits, we couldn't touch, we couldn't taste, we didn't have the five senses. And so all of this is brand new to us to be able to do this. I mean, for lots of us, it might not be if we've had many lifetimes, who knows? In our true nature, we aren't able to feel and touch and see and taste and do all of those things. So this is an experience for us. I'm sure this isn't the first time you've heard things like this, but it can sound very woo-woo and a bit like, yeah, sure, mate, we're spiritual beings, yeah, sure we are. But I had an experience where I came out of my body in a meditation, and it was the first time that anything that big had happened to me. I'd had lots of different little experiences over the years, but this really was another level, and I fully came out of my body, and I could have that happen for probably 4 or 5 days after that meditation. And there was loads of other things going on. I actually made a video about it, which if you're interested, I'll put up here somewhere. But yeah, that gave me certainty then. I came down like, okay, this isn't just something that I think can happen now, or this isn't a theoretical, intellectual kind of understanding of spirituality. This was like a direct experience of, oh no, we are actually spiritual beings. I thought all of this before, but now I know it. Hey guys, if things look a little bit different in here, it's because my camera ran out of battery. I had no spare batteries and I had to go, and it's 2 days after. So things have been shuffled around a little bit in this room, and it might look a little bit different. I'll get to where I was leading to, which was I had a big experience. It transformed my outlook, and it gave me certainty that we have a spiritual element. And so ultimately, the journey of the soul is going from source back to source and having an experience in the middle of this human experience, which you all know about. The soul acts as a protector, it acts as a bit of a guide, and it is with us permanently until we unite again back with the divine, back with God, back with the source, whatever you want to call it. But it is with us throughout all of our experiences at all times. It's permanently with us. So that's the end of the video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope it's given you a bit of a knowledge and understanding with regards to the soul and the journey of the soul, what the soul actually does. If you are interested in more things like this, then I'm going to be putting out more videos, so do ask me any questions in the comments. Put them in the comments below, and what I'll do, if I get some good questions, I'll make a video about them. and hopefully answer the questions that you may have. So do ask any questions below in the comments. On my website, I'm going to be updating when I will next be bringing out my meditation course. I run a 4-week online course, just finished the last one, might be bringing out a new one again at some stage, just need to gauge interest and things like that. So I'll put a link below to my website and you can keep an eye on there to see if there is an active course or I've got one that's coming up. And if you enjoyed the video, please do like and subscribe. It makes a massive difference, and hopefully see you on the next one. Thanks a lot.